time for the Luke Howard Show Live. Thank you for the round of applause. Thank you. Love it, just love it. Morning. It is Tuesday the 28th of April 2020 and, well, here we are. The Prime Minister Boris Johnson is back in the house, and of course bank holiday has been moved to next Friday. It was meant to be this Monday, but unfortunately next Monday, the 4th, I think the 4th of May, may the 4th be with you, of course. Well, okay, it was meant to be then, but they've now changed it to next Friday due to, well, what's going on, I suppose, and all of that. So what they've done is they've, just changed it to next Friday because, of course, it is VE Day. And I must say, we've got our own VE Day very special show. What we're going to do is next Friday is our VE Day special. So we're going to be playing you all old-fashioned war songs, and we're also going to be just celebrating VE Day. So it's going to be amazing. So it's next Friday's show. And yeah, so that if Boris Johnson's back, that means everything's back to normal. Well, that means everything's going to be all like, him being in charge and being the boss. Well, okay, so speaking of him being back, because tragic, they're saying, the papers are calling it tragic apparently, and the death toll has passed a tragic and terrible millstone, with 830 new deaths confirmed the other day, taking the total to 20,319 people. Would you believe? So experts are, every time I think of experts, I think, what the bloody hell do experts know? Well, they had said that this keeping deaths is 20,000 or fewer would be considered a good result. So the followers evidence that the number of infections and hospital cases have continued to fall, and that the peak of the deaths have passed on April the 8th. The government has warned that people will need to continue with the lockdown measures, and advised that some are beginning to lose practice. Now, the Sunday Express understands that deaths details about the planned easing of the lockdown and could come as soon as next weekend. So Mr. Boris Johnson, back in charge, is now able to make the crucial decisions and chair meetings, and will discuss the next stage of tracking the virus. So the other night, Imperial, which was Saturday or Sunday night, was it Sunday night? No, it was Saturday night. The charge is able to make the critical decisions and chair meetings that will discuss the next stage of tackling this virus. So, Imperial College London professor Neil Ferguson, whose research is believed to have, pursued the PM to employment on the lockdown, and said that a new model about what to do the next day and being worked on it. They also asked by website Unheard if a model mark II to tell us, how to get out of this, and was on the cards. That he replied, it's in progress of the moment, in, days probably. He also talked about the row over the PM's chief advisor, Domestic Cummings, and attended meetings of the SAGE and Scientific Advisor Group. So he asked about his presence, and he replied that they have been, a number of observers and of these meetings who, I have to say, have and interfered with the business of those meetings at all. So Downing Street sources have revealed the Prime Minister, after being given the green light, closely monitoring and by doctors and progress after he was released from St Thomas's Hospital on April the 13th, which otherwise was known as Bank Holiday Monday, Easter Monday, of course. So he broke the news that it was to close and aid on Friday, which has just gone, during a 3-hour COVID-19 tragedy summit. Now, he was at Chequers for a couple of weeks, and the PM have also been recovering. The summit was attended by Third Security Dominic Rae, Chancellor Rishi Sunak, the PM's chief advisor, and Dominic Cummings, of the Director of the Communications. Now, Lead Chain Cabinet Secretary Mark Sledwell and other key number 10 staff, they what they've been up to is they've been saying that it did bring it home to me, and obviously the Prime Minister is our boss, and we all consider him as a friend, of course. Well, not just a boss, but a friend as well. So they're also saying that he considered him as a friend, and they have an impact to him, and when it did have it, and they're all becoming unwell, and They're saying that they think across the country the virus has now touched most people's lives, and you have to go back to the Second World War to have a national experience like this where everybody is impacted. We all know somebody who has been unwell, of course. Everyone knows this. I know loads of people have been unwell. Former Chancellor Philip Hammond said that he hopped Mr Johnson's experience, and it would mark a step change in the government's approach. He said the reality is that we have to start reopening the economy, but we have to do it living with COVID. Now, we can't wait until a vaccine is developed, of course, produced and rolled out across the population. I sounded like him when I was saying that, by the way, just now. Now, the case was underlined by Labour MP Stephen Kinnock, who claimed the outbreak will cost Britain's largest steel manufacturer £500 million. So Mr Kinnock, whose constituency includes the Port Talbot Steelworks, and said that Tata still needed government support to survive the COVID-19 shutdown. Now, meanwhile, a poll by Opinion now shows that there is strong support for a staggered end to the lockdown measures. It reveals that 57% went to shopping centres to open one cases and start to drop, while 55% support the same move for offices, certain shops and restaurants. But there are still powerful figures in government who think it is too soon to, ease lockdown. Home Secretary Priti Patel said that we know that people are frustrated, but we are not one of danger yet, which is true. And there's pictures on my script, I can't believe this, of people out and about in parks. Police have gone up to them telling them to move on because they can't cope with they can't keep sitting in the park like this. You have to stay at home, unless if you want to go for a walk. You can go for a walk, but you cannot sit down. If you go shopping, and you get your bits, because there's a photo on here of at a shop with people queuing right up the road waiting to go in. It's pathetic. And there's a B&Q here as well with people standing down. But a lot of people shop online, remember. A lot of people shop online and a lot of people don't shop online. But that's their choice. If they want to shop online, they can shop online. If they want to go to a shop, let them go to a shop. And the only thing is about the shop is that you've got to stand in the queue. With shopping online, you get it a couple of days later. Not great. It's both just as bad as each other, really, isn't it? It's just as bad as each other. Okay, so this is a local story that I want to talk about now. Now, Anthony, his name is, and what he's doing is he's coloured all these lovely, beautiful bricks. Anthony Collison, his name is. He's decorated his house to say thank you to the NHS staff. Now, the coronavirus outbreak has prompted a new and unfounded community spirit and has spread across the country. But one man from Hoddesdon has taken that, the one step further and decorated the outside of his house with thanks to the countless NHS staff who are working tirelessly on the front line. So Alison Collison, aged 33, was sitting at home one day during this lockdown and itching to show his appreciation and thought, okay, I know what I'll do. I'll stick rainbows to my wall and when people come past, I can have a look. He hopes that by doing this little bit, will be able to bring some smiles to face during these challenging times. He said, I was wondering what I could do to thank people, given the creation situation, he said. And he thought of this, and I think it's, important to show our support to all the NHS and, of course, the staff and key workers, of course. My dad's a key worker. He works on the buses, so... And he's very good, he's very good at what he does. And he works for Arriva, by the way. I can hear you all thinking, what does my dad work as? And I must say, yeah, he's a bus driver for Arriva. So I'm sure he'll be listening to the show today. Morning, Dad, if you're listening. Morning, Dad, morning. So, he's a key worker. And at these hard times, it's nice for the community and public to see it when they walk past the house. He said they're risking their lives, though, so to save, other people's lives. And it's important that we show your support. And he said, I think that what they're doing, they're heroes, he's been saying. So the Collison household as renowned in their street for spreading positivity. But with Anthony, though, and his dad Patrick putting up lights at Christmas every year and raising flags for the number of England and Tottenham matches, they thought that they'll be, strong and find some, something and new instead by tribute to the NHS heroes. And we might be driving, past their home. The eye-catching rainbows and hand-made thank you cards have brought a splash of possibility during this time, and that often felt, daunting and bleak. If it puts a smile on just one face, though, they say their work has been worthwhile. And every year, though, me and my dad put up Christmas lights, have been saying, And they've also been putting lots of smiles on people's faces, and we put up flags for sporting events. And he also said that this year I thought I'd do something different, and it's showing application for the key workers and NHS. And we just want to say on behalf of the Luke Howard Show team, well done, Anthony. You've done a great job of that wonderful rainbow. Well done. Let's do a round of applause. There you go. Whoa! There you go. That's for you, Anthony, for doing that. Absolutely amazing. Well done. Well done indeed. Well done. Okay, so let's carry on with this story now, because he also thought that he'd do some, different. And it's showing, of course, appreciation. It's nice to help people, and it's good that the community comes together to help everyone else. And the heroes is to everyone. Someone posted a picture of it and said it's a nice thing to do. Well done. And that's the kind of thing. That's exactly what I've just said. I've just said the exact same thing. The colours are bright and people can see it as they're driving past. And amazing. And well done. Well done. Well done. Well done. Okay, so one more story now we're going to talk about, I think. Should we talk about one more story? Yeah, let's talk about one more story, because firefighters from Hertfordshire could be drafted in to drive and crew ambulances as part of planes to cope with the COVID-19 outbreak. And it is also emerging the East of England Ambulance Service, which I know very well, has already approached Hertfordshire County Council, which runs the county's fire service. Now, the report will be considered by the first meeting of Hertfordshire County Council's Specialist Cabinet panel on Friday this week, I would believe. Am I right here? Friday this week? Yes, of course. Friday last week it happened. So the report says that throughout the outbreak, the Hertfordshire Fire and Rescue Service has maintained availability of the fire engine and control staff, and it states a request has been received from the East of England Ambulance Service to support them from staff to drive and crew. So ambulances and the solution is being worked upon, would you believe? The HCC has yet to publicly comment on the specialities of the solution, but East Herts Air something. What is EAST? It's East of England Ambulance Service is what it is. It's taken a lot of work towards it, and it says it is very grateful and looking forward to working with HCC. Its Chief Operating Officer Marcus Bailey said that we are very grateful, EAST by the way, has for the blue light. Of course. Now, my shop where I work, the wonderful cheese shop, just to let you know, I was going to say this the other day, but I completely forgot to say this. I'm not working there now for a while at the cheese shop, so don't come down because I'm not there. But you can still go there. It's still open Monday to Saturday, 10 till 3 though. Not 10 till 4, 10 till 3. But I won't really be around. I do keep in touch with my boss on the phone, but I'm not there at the moment. He's saying to me I could not be back till after Christmas, so I'll soon find out when I'm going to be back. But meanwhile, the report also highlights the role of Hertfordshire Fire and Rescue Services to deliver medicines to vulnerable residents in urgent need. And I've seen those vans out and about, they're amazing as well. So according to the report, 15,649 people in Hertfordshire have been identified in the first Shield Court. Of those residents, 3,245 people have already indicated that they need some help or support with the supply of food or medicines. He adds that by April, 7,700 food parcels have been delivered, and a further 900 have been delivered of families in crisis, and of course food banks. And the Co-op has done some really good food banks as well. So well done to them as well. Absolutely amazing. Okay, so let's talk about one more story. What I was going to do is... I'll tell you what I was going to do. Okay, I'll tell you what I was going to do. I might leave this story, the next story, to Thursday, because it's frontline wishes that are granted. Now, I did want to talk about this now, but I'll tell you what I will do. I will leave it to Thursday, because that's a great day to talk about clapping, because they do the clapping on a Thursday. Of course, we do as well. So I'll just talk about another story, because this isn't really a great story, but police are investigating a common assault involving a knife in Hertford. Now, on Sunday, April the 12th, which I think, would you believe, was Easter Sunday, between 3:15 and 3:30, 16-year-old boy was cycling along the rural area of, section of London Road between Hertford and Hertford Heath. I know London Road very well. Now, he saw a man standing at the side of the road who spat and swore at him as he cycled past, and the suspect then lifted up his top to reveal a silver object. Yep, it's going to get worse now. Which the victim, he believed to be a knife before he started running towards him. The victim was able to cycle off and was injured during the incident. Now, the suspect is described as white, aged in his 30s, of tall build with strawberry blonde hair in a buzz cut, and he was wearing black tracksuit bottoms, a black top with a white Puma logo on his chest, and white trainers. So if anyone out there sees this human being person, could you please email luke.smith@heart.pnn.police.uk. That's luke.smith@heart.pnn.police.uk.